In this video, I'm going to show you how to teach your dog to take medicine from a syringe, because you just never know when there might be a injury or illness that requires your dog to have medication given to them. I'll do another video about in regards to pills and tablets and that sort of thing. But the focus of this video is just on liquid medications where you need to use a syringe. Just to give a little bit of a backstory here, when our little wee man was 3 months old, he had a bit of a freak accident and broke his leg, which required surgery the next day. And he had to have a plate and screws put in. It was, to be fair, I kind of knew that we were going to be going through hell for the next 3 months while he was on cage rest and such and what have you. I'll do another video about that as well. But for the purpose of this video, just to give you a little bit of a history, the veterinary surgeon had given him a 48-hour pain injection, and then I had to medicate him at home from that point forward. So fortunately for us, he was still quite a young puppy at 3 months, so he was still on 3 meals a day, which meant I had plenty of time to condition the behavior of taking medication from a syringe before the actual time came to take medication, because what I didn't want to be doing is forcing him or having to manhandle him or have it be two of us. And with my husband working shifts, it meant that at least 2 meals out of the day I was going to have to do it on my own anyway. So after I had my little 24-hour meltdown and made sure that he was going to actually take food the next day after his ordeal, we got right to work with conditioning the syringe to positive things. Now, a little bit of a caveat: my puppy was already taught to target to unfamiliar things, and learning that touching things means he gets treats or food. But you can still do it even if you haven't target trained your dog. You just may need to use high value treats or something that is really super good that they love to do this sort of exercise. A little bit of a note here: if your dog isn't ill or injured right now, it is a really good idea to teach them this as a husbandry skill, just in case, because you never know. It might not be you having to give medication, but it could be at the vet's. It could be, if something comes up where, you've gone out of town and the boarding kennel needs to give some sort of medication to your dog because maybe they've turned ill while they've been under their care. You just never know. And it is a great skill for your dogs to learn and to be happy about having weird things put in their mouth, and to teach them that it isn't always scary and bad. So I'm first wanting to pair the syringe with something positive. So I show him the syringe first, and then I lower his food bowl so that the syringe predicts his food bowl is coming. And I've also got the syringe pre-filled with water because it's a neutral, it's sort of non-offensive, so I can get him used to that there's going to be some squirting happening later on. So just to make a positive association and teach him to actually lick the syringe himself, I'm just putting a little bit of dollops of food on the end of it. I'm not actually pushing the plunger yet. All I'm doing is teaching him that when he licks it, he gets some food. Sometimes he didn't want to lick the end of it, so then I just reload and put some food on the tip of it to see if I can get him to lick the tip of it. But it's really just, to him, it's a game. I'm just trying to give him, it also serves as a bit of enrichment because from this point forward, he's got to be on cage rest for quite some time. So I'm just making it into a little bit of a game for him. He's trying to work out, how do I get my food from the bowl? So if he, at this point, because it's all new, and I know he's probably feeling a bit sorry for himself, so if he does any interaction with the syringe tip at all, so if he licks it, if he touches it, if he looks at it, he gets some treats. Well, in this case, it's food, it's not treats. I feed raw, so it is wet food, so it is easy for him to lick. If your dog is fed a dry food, you may want to, for the purposes of this, swap to a wet food just for when they have their medication, because that way they're licking at the end of it instead of, just sort of touch and go at it. So anytime that I feel that he's not sure what he's supposed to do, I just take the syringe away and sort of give him a minute to sort of process things. And then I just keep the setup the same way. So the basic setup is touch the syringe, lick the syringe, or look at the syringe, and you're going to get food. If he doesn't touch or lick it right away, I just add some more food onto the top of it, sort of reloading it so that he gets every opportunity to sort of figure out that, hey, it pays off for me to actually interact with this weird plastic thing that Mummy's shoving in my face. So here I'm just giving him the extra bits of food, what's left out of his bowl, really. In between all that, once I'm kind of getting near the end of his food, you probably missed it then, but I did squirt the water in, and it kind of gave him a bit of a surprise. But once I've got it in, then I finish it up with the rest of the food. Now, the reason that I'm not mixing the medicine in with his food is because some of the pain medications and the anesthesia can actually cause him to have a bit of a loss of appetite, and I did not want to risk putting the medicine in the food and having him not eat the food because he needed the medication for him to have, be free of pain from having the surgery. And while I'm doing this, I'm also reinforcing my other dog for being polite and, giving her a little bit extra attention too, because she's sitting there like, hey, how's he getting all the fun and I'm not getting any? So I'm just clearing up here and giving him the rest of the food out of his bowl. You can see where his leg's been shaved from the surgery. He doesn't have the bandage on anymore. We had taken that off the next day as per the vet. But I'm really just, trying to make it as fun as possible for him. And it's hard when they're this young because they want to do all the things. And unfortunate for him, he had to be on sort of cage rest. We do some enrichment and activities in between in that. But for now, once he's done with the food, I'm using a bit of kitchen roll, paper towel, whatever you've got. You can use baby wipes. Because he's got to wear the cone, we want to make sure that we're not having any bacteria lingering. So the cone gets cleaned, his face gets cleaned, so that way he can just chill. And then after he's had his food, I'm just giving him a little bit of slippery elm paste. This is just a natural remedy because it increases the mucus lining. Because I know that he was still having a little bit of pain after he had to be intubated twice. Once at the vet, our normal GP vet that we took him to. They had to anesthetize him to get x-rays and to figure out what was going on, exactly like the extent of the injuries and whatnot. So I'm just doing that to help ease his sore throat. And then this next bit is the actual medicine dose time. So basically for the last 24 hours, every meal, I was doing the conditioning with the syringe so that when it came to this point, he was already familiar with the game, and all he gets from this now is sort of like, ooh, that tasted funny, but we go right back to everything that he's already been conditioned to. So I wish we would have had a few more days, but it is what it is. They only have a 48-hour injection, so I had to work with what I had. So in summary, what we do is load the syringe first before you have to actually put the medicine in, because it's going to taste funny to them. So we fill it with water first so that it's neutral and non-offensive, and then we load the tip of the syringe with a lickable food that your dog absolutely loves and isn't going to have any issues with. And this way they get used to that touching the device, whichever implement you're using. Sometimes they have these other syringes that have like a tube on the end of them. So, depending on what you've got to work with. This could also work for cats, If you've got a cat that loves a certain type of food and you have trouble medicating your cat, this is absolutely something you can do with cats as well. So in summary, we're filling it with water first, rewarding when they touch the syringe and they're licking it off, and then you pick your moment, squirt it in, and then when you've got it good to go, then you can, obviously when it's ready to have the medicine in, they're gonna have a, they might pull a funny face because it tastes weird, but at the end of the day, it makes it easier for you because you know that the animal has gotten their medication. Then you don't have to worry about, oh, well, did they eat the part of the food that has the medicine in? They've already got it, and then you're making it all good. And then you don't have to worry about whether your dog or cat has received the appropriate amount of medicine. If you have any questions about anything in this video or want specific troubleshooting advice for your own dog, feel free to email me at nauticaltalesuk@gmail.com. and this video will also be live on my Patreon very soon. Thanks for watching.